Hi everyone and welcome back to our Scholars Program Spotlights. Today we are excited to be having the program Rise, and soon enough the students going to come and join us and talk about their experience with the program. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes until they show up. David, if you're in here, can you request to go live with me, please? There we go. There we go. Hi, how are you doing?
Good, I'm great. What about you?
I am doing fantastic. All right, so we're going to get started. Can you first introduce yourself with your full name, year, and major?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me introduce myself. My name is David Padilla. I'm a senior student at Cal State Long Beach, and my major is molecular cell biology and physiology. And currently, I'm part of the RISE program. And RISE stands for Research Initiative for Scientific Enhancement. And this is an NIH-funded program at Cal State Long Beach, which the main goal is prepare and supports new researchers.
Awesome. Thank you for that. So we're going to hop into our first question. How did you learn about research, or how did you become interested in research?
Well, this goes back to 2019. I already had like an interest in research, but I didn't know how to get involved in research. So what happens is before I transferred to Cal State Long Beach, I was talking with one of my professors, and she suggested me to apply to a summer research program. I applied to different programs, and I got into the Bridges to the Baccalaureate at Cal State Long Beach. And after I those 10 weeks, is when I realized that I want to do research and I wanted to go into research.
Awesome. Nice backstory to that. Can you please describe the steps that you took to find your faculty mentor?
Well, it was an interesting process because it was during the pandemic, so everything was online already. So basically, what I did, and since I was a transfer student, I didn't have like a reference of all the faculty mentors at Cal State Long Beach. So some programs like Build or Rise, they have a database. So I just went online, I searched in the database. I already had like a particular interest, let's say something related with immunology or virology, things like that. And I created my list of 5 faculty mentors. And then I just read at least one paper from each of these faculty. And I got lucky because I emailed the first person on my list, and that person replied to me, and she told me that's my current PI, is Dr. Edith Garakanian. And she told me, yeah, we can talk. And we had a Zoom meeting. And after the Zoom meeting, it was like, okay, you can join the lab. And that's how I found my faculty mentor.
And that's crazy that the first person that you reached out to reached back to you. Like,
Yeah. And even I think she replied within 3 to 5 days, maybe. It was quick. So I was okay. I got lucky.
yeah, it all worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about your current or past research projects? Was this independent research, or did you join an existing research project with your faculty mentor?
Well, I can talk about my current project, and the short answer for this is yes. I'm independent with this project, and to give you like a description of my project is, at least in our lab, we work with proteins, and specifically we work with enzymes, and a particular type of enzyme called kinases. So back maybe 7 years ago, our lab described a new enzyme, and we have been working with this enzyme. So I have been working and studying this enzyme, but the goal of my project is to identify another protein that interacts with this protein. So basically, that's my project, and yeah, I'm independent with this project. It has been a long process because it is from the theoretical part to the experimental part, and it has been a fun and long process.
Would you do it all over again, knowing everything that you have had to overcome?
Yeah, at the beginning it was like complicated because it was frustrating because I wasn't doing anything, let's say anything like in the lab, right? It was mainly collecting information, gathering information, and things like that. But I think right now I realize that it was worth it.
I'm glad it all worked out. What is your favorite part about doing research?
I think my favorite part right now, two things. Number one, I have the opportunity to work with others. Even though I'm independent with my project, I have the opportunity to interact with my lab mates, right? So I discuss with them, I ask suggestions, discuss my data and things like that, besides with my PI, right? And I would say the second part is right now is that I'm in the experimental part of my research. I already did all the theoretical. It has been like maybe 1 year, and now I'm doing the experimental. So I'm doing my experiments. I'm starting to generating my data, and I think maybe soon I can start like really testing my hypothesis.
That's awesome. Have you been able to present your research at a conference? And if so, how was that experience?
Well, with this project, I haven't, but I'm looking forward to do it. Actually, I have two already. I already marked my calendar with two different conferences, but that's next year. But with my previous project during summer, during Bridges, I presented at a symposium, and it was a great experience because you have the opportunity to present what you're doing, and at the same time try to explain people what you're doing, what's the relevance of that, and that's great.
Yeah, and then like you're able to explain it to like everyone that is at that conference, and everybody just gets it, and that's amazing. Um, Overall, what would you say motivates you to do research?
What motivates me to do research? I think maybe two things. Number one, I would say that understanding the relevance of my project, I know that in the future could be helpful for something else. It's not just gonna be something that is gonna look great on my CV, or it's not gonna be only something that I can talk about. It's gonna be something important and it can be useful for someone else. And the second thing I think is, as a Latino student, I think, and as a member of an underrepresented group in research, is that I have the opportunity maybe to motivate other Latino students, and not only Latino students, but also other students that want to get involved in research, and they can realize that anyone can do research and anyone can get involved in research.
That's great that you mentioned that, because the next question is, what advice do you have for someone that is considering research?
Uh, Again, two things. Number one, be patient, because research is a process. It's not something that is gonna happen like in 1 month. As I said, my project has been like 1 year maybe, and I think research requires patience. And the second thing is like you have to ask questions. Don't be afraid of asking questions. Ask your PI, ask any person that is involved in research, that for sure they're gonna be willing to share something with you. So don't be afraid of asking questions.
Great advice. Is there anything else that we left out that would be important for students to know about research and the impact it has had on you?
I think mainly would be don't give up. If you want to get involved and be in research, don't give up because you're gonna experience failure, you're gonna experience frustration. But the key here is to how you're gonna use that or those negative experiences for you to overcome the problem and how to solve that problem. So I think that would be something that I would like to talk and say to people interested in research.
And sorry, I accidentally skipped over another question. This is the last one. How has the research experience influenced what careers you are considering now?
Bridges and research has changed my plans completely. As I said, I had another plans, and before Bridges, I was a pre-med student, and I was already building towards my medical school application. I was taking lower division classes. For example, I took a medical terminology class just to get involved and familiar with all this terminology, right? And also I was, for example, attending MCAT seminars because the MCAT is not an easy exam. So I was already attending those type of seminars. But after Bridges, I was like, that changed my mind. And I was like, okay, so I can do research. And now I'm going for my PhD. And actually this week I started my applications. And hopefully by the end of November, I will have submitted all my application for PhD.
That's
And that's how
amazing.
everything.
Yeah, you're getting it all done ahead of time, and like that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, um, thank you so much for joining us. I did want to wish you an early congratulations on almost finishing up your degree and wishing you the best in your future endeavors with your PhD.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Have a good one.
Bye. Thank you too.
So that was David Padilla. And thank you so much to everyone that was listening to this interview. I did want to remind you all that our next program spotlight is going to be Monday, September 27th at 2:30. And a student is going to be talking about their experience with Mark, and you will not want to miss it. Once again, this was Jessica Garcia, and I look forward to seeing you guys all at the next live, which is going to be Monday at 2:30. Bye. Have a good one.